What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the latest episode in the How to Be a Server Admin Bukkit on the Bukkit platform mini series. Now, last episode we went over getting the server set up, the initial preparation of that, getting it running, getting it working, and hopefully, if you followed the guide, you yourself have got a server set up and ready to go. You forwarded the ports and stuff like that. Now, today what we're going to do, we're going to go over the configuration of the server. So we're going to be going through all the files that have been generated, configuring them to our liking and stuff like that. So don't worry, guys, we will get to the plugins and stuff like that of the Bukkit server, but this is the don't run before you can walk metaphor comes to mind here. This is the initial preparation, what you need to do just to make sure you've got everything as you want it. Otherwise you'll be forever restarting the server after you've sort of changed something and stuff like that. So let's get started. Now, one of the things that you will I advise you to get, and just for working on files like this, such as the YML files and the properties file, is an open source program called Notepad++. Okay, and the link will be in the description. Now, all you need to do is, it's a brilliant program. It's also formatting for properties files, YML and stuff like that. And basically what it is, it's a notepad, just like your regular notepad, but it's a lot nicer to use and a lot better feeling. And we'll go over the comparisons of it in a second. But if you download this, okay, it makes things a lot easier to read and edit and stuff like that. So that'll be in the description, so get that on your desktop. Okay, so for instance, as I mentioned before, it's a lot easier to read with Notepad++. I'm just going to okay. I'm just going to show you the difference between the two. So just let me search for this. No, that's not the one I want to search. No, that's not the one I want to search. Notepad. There we go. Just search that, please. No, you don't want to do it. Okay, never mind. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, now it formats it correctly. But normally what this does, guys, it's like 5 lines and it's going all over the place everywhere. But what we're going to do, we're going to open with Edit Notepad++. Okay. So you can see up here, we've got a language. You can YMLs there. Property files there and stuff like that, and you can use PHP, code HTML in this and whatnot. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? So one of the first files you want to be editing and changing and configuring to your standard is the server.properties file. Now, the server properties file is everything the server displays, does, and looks at. Okay. Now, this is before you get everybody on the world and stuff like that, because this a lot of this is generation and stuff like that. So what you could do, you can actually delete your world folder and regenerate it with these settings. So the generator settings. What the generator settings are, is just like, do you want a super flat world and stuff like that, I think. Let's have a look. Sorry about this, guys, I'm not really prepared today. Just have a look in there quickly. Generator settings, where are you? Hmm. Okay. Well, that's why I didn't know what it was, because it's not on there. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to leave that blank. We're going to leave that at default. Okay. So just leave that blank. Allow nether. Now what that does, that allows players to go to the nether and build portals and stuff like that. So we want that to be true. The level name is, if you've got multiple worlds installed and you want to change worlds at any particular time, this is where you put it in. But for generating a world, let's just say YouTube tutorial world. Okay, and that'll generate a world name with that. Enable query. What that does is basically it allows things to get server information. For instance, if you've got like query ports for your Minecraft server viewer, stuff like that, that's what that allows. I leave it to false, you don't really need it, to be honest. Allow flight. Now this is obviously what it says, it allows flight in the server. Anybody, if it's set to false, anybody who's been flying for 5 seconds will be kicked. Or anybody who's in the air for 5 seconds will be kicked. So obviously there is slight bugs towards it. I have noticed a few times where people are actually flying but glitched out. They are actually kicked from the game as well. Now note, this does not affect creative servers. So the creative server, you can still fly and stuff like that. You won't need to worry about being kicked. This is just to prevent those people who've got a mod installed, the flight mod, and stops people griefing, well, prevents people from griefing and stuff like that. Now, the server port, the default port for Minecraft is 25565. Okay, now if you want to put it on a particular other port, what you've forwarded, or if you've got multiple servers running on your machine, you can change the port to anything you want, like that, anything. Okay, let's put it back. So yeah, you change the port to anything, as long as you put forward and stuff like that. Obviously, if you've got a hosted server, do not change this. If you hosted through a hosted website, do not change the port or the IP. They are static and dynamic for your server. Otherwise, you will not be able to get on. Level type. Now, you've got 4 different types of level types. The default is the default one, and that's your standard regular world. As you go into a single player, it'll generate the standard world. The second level type is flat. Now, as you can imagine, that is just a flat world designed for creating for builds and stuff like that. And all you do is just change this just like that. Third is large biomes. It's the regular world with the biomes being that much larger, and stuff like that. And amplified. Amplified is the same as the default world, but the build height is much higher. So you've not got the default build height, you've got a higher build height. So there are 4 there you need to think about. And enable icon. That is remote control of the server. If you've got something installed on your server, such as remote controls, where you can control it from, you don't have to be on the PC to control it. You set that to true, but I'll just leave that false for the time being. Level seed is same as single player. You put your seed in there. Whatever, and I'll generate a world with that seed. Force game mode. Now, what that means is, if you're forcing a game mode, if you set that to, just let me look at my notes here. If you set that to false, basically, if you're in a game, say you're an op and you're on survival, it's a survival world, and you go to creative for something, to sort something out, and you leave the game. When you come back into the game, you'll still be on creative. You won't be forced into the server default game mode. So if you don't want that to happen, you set that to true. If you want people to join with the game mode that they left in, set it to false. Server IP, I don't recommend changing this, especially if you're on a hosted server, because they've been changed specifically for your server. So leave that as it is, unless you want to put it onto a static IP, which is not advisable. So just leave that blank, you don't really need it. Your max build height, you can set that 256. I generally leave that alone. Again, it's something you don't really want to be changing. Spawn NPCs, which is villagers, stuff like that. It's defaulted at true, so we'll just leave that as it is. Whitelist. Now, what this is a list of names who can and can't join your server. It's a list of names that can join your server. Now, if anybody who's not on the whitelist tries to join, it will give them an error message saying you are not whitelisted on this server. Now, if you want a private server, if you decide you want a private server from one of the earlier episodes when you've brainstormed your server, then you want to set this to true. But then again, everybody will be have to manually be added to your whitelist. And if you want an open server, you can leave it to false and whatnot. So I'll set that for true for this purpose. Spawn animals. Basically what it says on the tin: pigs, sheep, cows, stuff like that. Leave that at true unless you want unless you're on a creative build world or something like that, then keep it at true. Snooper enabled. This basically what this does, it allows stats.minecraft.net to get stats from your server and put them up to there. Nothing really major about that, just I'll leave that at true. Hardcore, if you want a hardcore world, you can do that, just set that to true. But be advised, if the people die, they will be permanently banned from your server, so you will need to unban them once everybody dies or you got a new world. A texture pack, you can force a texture pack on the server. All you need to do there is to get the zip file URL download and paste it in there, and people will be forced to download that texture pack to join the server. Online mode, always keep this to true. Just do it. It prevents a lot of pain and heartache. PvP, if you want PvP enabled on your world, on your server, leave that to true. If you don't want PvP, you can set it to false. Difficulty. This sets the difficulty of the game. You've got 4 options here. You can have it at 0, which obviously if you're doing a build world and stuff like that, is peaceful. 1 is easy, 2 is normal, and 3 is hard. So let's do that easy, just for the purposes of this tutorial. Game mode. Again, you've got 4 different options. 0 is survival, 1's creative, 2 is adventure, and 3 is spectator mode. I'm not really sure what spectator mode is. It's something that's been added recently, but really all you want to be worried about is not on 1, creative or survival for that. Player idle timeout. I'm not really 100% sure what that does, but basically it is if somebody is not doing nothing, just standing there on the server, if you set something here, it'll time them out in that. To get a full breakdown of what it does, I'll link you to this webpage, the MinecraftGamepedia.com. There's all server properties in there. For instance, player idle timeout. Let's have a look. If non-zero, players are kicked from the server if they are idle for more than that many minutes. Okay, so if you leave it on 1, if they're idle for more than 1 minute, they'll get kicked from the server, or 5 minutes, stuff like that. Max players. This will set the cap for the server. Now with the what we did earlier with the test, see how many players we could have, we maxed out at 32. So I could put that to 32 if I wanted, but as that's just for vanilla and not Bukkit, I'm going to leave that at 20. So you can set that as well. Spawn monsters, skeletons, witches, creepers, that kind of thing. Same as anything else, true or false. If you want them, false. If you want them on there, leave it as true. If you want them off, just leave it as false. Generate structures. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you want villages, temples, that kind of thing, leave them at true. If you don't, set that at false. View distance. And what view distance is the amount of data that's sent to the client. For instance, it's a distance of a radius around the player, and now this can be numbered between 3 and 15. So for instance, far render distance is 16, so that'll send 1800 and something chunks to the client. Normal view distance is 8, so if you're getting a lot of lag on your server, consider lowering that to around like 5 or 6, and it'll increase the performance of the server. MOTD, that's message of the day. Basically all that is when you've got your list in the game, you list on the server list, you got a little message underneath it. That's what that does. So if we change as to hang on, nope. Yeah, there we go. And that'll show up on this server. Okay, so that is the server properties done. We'll just save that. That will automatically re-upload to the server. No, I don't want to do that yet. And so we've got that sorted. Now, a couple of other things we need to do here. Let's have a look. Whitelist. If you set that to true, you will need to add yourself. I don't really bother with the Notepad++ for these, just the server properties and the logs. So, no, that's not my name. We set it to true, so you need to add yourself to that whitelist. Control S to save it and close it down. And one other thing, if ops, there we go. When it opens, there we go. And I want myself to be an op. So Control S to save that and close that down. Okay, so that's server properties. Permissions YML, you can use this, but we'll be going over different permissions via a plugin. So I don't really use this file a lot at all, really. So I'll just leave that as it is, and we'll go over the permissions and stuff later today. So let's just to make sure everything's okay on that end. So we'll just run server. See, okay, that's why. I'm already running the server, so let me just stop this quickly and restart it. So you can see the preparing level YouTube tutorial world. It'll create a new world folder, which is there, and the nether on the end for them as well. So we can delete these. Okay. There we go, and just to test it is working. Let me load up the game here. Multiplayer. Let's add server. Okay, refresh. Let's just direct connect to it. I think it's got set to the I'm using 1.64. Yeah, it's don't worry about it, guys. It's just got its let's just turn this down. Oh, I like this. I've seen these before. Huh. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, that should work. I'm not sure why it's not working. But if you have any problems, just give us a message in the comments and I'll reply. And don't worry about it, it's not working. It's just something that's glitching out. Yeah. I'm not really sure why. It should be working, so don't worry about it. If it's getting the same for you guys, don't worry about it. I'll go through what I've done in it, and if there is an issue what I've done wrong, I'll let you know about it. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and see you next time for episode 3, maybe. I can't remember which one it is. Take it easy, guys.